Welcome back to Dear Girl with Alice. For this week's Yoga Pose Challenge, we'll be covering Warrior 2. These weekly pose challenges allow us to work on our foundation and, more importantly, alignment. So let's get started. On all fours, tuck in the toes, breathe. Come to a down dog. Okay, you can bend your knees or straighten your legs. Breathe, deep inhales and exhales. Okay, bend the right knee, bring it between your hands, and slowly raise yourself. Raise your arms slowly, engage that core. What's important here is that we continue to bend into the right knee, we bring down the left heel. Make sure those hips are aligned. You may raise your arms or also place them on your hips and slowly open up to Warrior 2. So the first step in Warrior 1, we have squared hips, and in Warrior 2, we open the hips. We continue to keep the heel down. Okay, see how I did that? The right heel is going to be aligned with the middle part of your left foot. So if you look at your right heel, it should, if you draw that imaginary line, that line should go through the middle part of your left foot. And if that line starts behind the right heel, it should end in the middle of your left foot. That's how you know you're doing it correctly. Okay, now we're going to start to square the hips in Warrior 1. And then before we come down, we lift the heel. Now we can come down. Okay. Bring the right foot back, down dog. Now let's bend the left knee. Okay, bring it between the hands. Engage the core. Slowly raise yourself. Make sure that there's a 90-degree bend. Now you're going to bring the heel down of your right leg. Keep the hips squared in Warrior 1 before we open up to Warrior 2. You see how I did that? I'm anchored in the right heel. The left leg is still bent. Open up that hip. Continue to bend into your left knee. Arms are extended. Adjust your torso here. Make sure it's straight. Don't lean to the left. Now come back to Warrior 1. We're going to do that really slow. See how I'm going to slowly come to Warrior 1 and squaring those hips. My heel is still on the mat. You see how I shifted those hips? Okay, now come to the heel. Before we come down, hands on either side of the foot. And now we're in down dog. Pedal out the feet, or you can stretch out your legs. That's one-legged dog here. Okay. Bend the knee again, bring it between your arms, engage the core, raise yourself, bring your arms up or have them bent, hands on the hips, whatever's comfortable. Notice my heel is still down, opening up to Warrior 2. I'm going to continue to open up those hips. So since the left leg is bent, I'm going to keep bringing it to the left side. Keep opening that hip, bending closer to the mat, squaring those hips to Warrior 1. Lift the heel, slowly engage your core, coming back down and bring the foot behind you. You can do that on the other side. One-legged dog here, lifting the right leg. You could open up your hip here too by bending the knee or just keep the leg extended behind you. Bend the knee, bring that foot between your arms, bend the knee, slowly engage your core. Coming to Warrior 1, look at how the hips are squared. My heel is lifted on the left side. The minute I open up my hips and come to Warrior 2 is when I bring that heel down. And now I have a bend in the right knee. I keep opening up those hips. Breathe. I want to look over my right arm Look how I adjusted the torso, making sure it's straight. Now coming back to warrior one, shifting the hips, I lift the heel, and now I come back to the mat, bringing the leg back, down dog. Breathe. All right, come to the mat, sit back on your heels. Come to a quick child's pose, relax. Knees are bent and wide, arms are directly in front of you. You could come back on your heels in hero's pose or just hang out. Thanks for joining me today. We'll be doing a couple more warrior poses. Namaste.